It is overtime here again at Old Favorite Friday, discussing incredible classic beers. And this week, what we have for you is the original Innis Gunn. This is a brewery out of Scotland. This beer's been around since 2003. It's a beer that I used to drink actually a lot back in the day when I first started getting into craft beer. And I haven't drank it in a while, honestly. It's been a while since I picked one of these up. But it's really spectacular. It is a barrel-aged beer, a whiskey barrel-aged beer, single malt cask, they say. And it's 6.6%, which is really light for a barrel-aged beer. And also, as you can see by the color, this is like a golden ale, right? It actually has kind of some orangey undertones, maybe some reddish undertones to it, which I'm guessing is coming from the barrel itself. And what I love about this beer is, from the barrel-aged beers you've seen on Old Favorite Friday, and obviously if you're a craft beer lover and you're watching these videos, you're trying barrel-aged beers probably from time to time. The vast majority of barrel-aged beers, especially in this country, are going to be dark beers, things like imperial stouts, barley wines, and also you're going to see a lot of beers that are high ABV. And you're going to see 10%, 12%, 15% beers going into barrel aging, going into whatever they are, rum barrels, bourbon barrels, what have you. And then obviously, like I said, the darker, a lot of times it's like the darker the better. Breweries really like to go with the darker beers for their barrel aging beers. And it's not that there are not counter examples out there. We do our triple in a barrel, which is a golden ale. It's 9%, but still high ABV. And we've done some lower gravity beers in barrel as well. It's not that you can't find them, but they're just not as widely available. And what I love about this is that you have a beer that is this light and this drinkable at 6.6%, but it still delivers you those oaky flavors, the things that I want to get out of an oak barrel beer. So you're going to get a little bit of that spicy oak. You're going to get vanilla. You're going to get some smokiness to it, but it doesn't dominate the rest of the beer. And I think that might be one of the reasons why we see less of those, is that we think that we need an imperial stout or a quadruple, something with big, big, big flavors that can kind of stand up to the barrel. But you can just do a little bit less barrel aging. You can have the beer in there for less time to pick up subtle notes. Now that's tougher to do. You got to be on top of your game, and also you have to be really good at blending to make a beer that is consistent, especially as like a kind of a year-round product. This is a core brand for them. Where a lot of us, when we're doing barrel-aged beers, they're one-offs, and you're not going to really notice big differences from one batch to the next because you're having them a year apart. With this, if you're drinking this beer regularly, if it's not consistent, you're going to know it. So there's a lot of skill and talent that goes into making a beer like this, and just kind of harping back on that idea of like subtlety. Subtlety is so important. Having a beer that has these base flavors of like toffee, caramel, sweet malts, things of that nature. Even picking up like some orange rind, some stone fruit. These nice, subtle malt forward beer flavors that I absolutely adore, being kind of propped up and added to with that vanilla and that spice and that little bit of char, smokiness. Really, really nice. Tough to do, and just so welcome, because I'd love to have more beers like this. I'd like to play around with more of them here at Barrel of Monks. We don't do a lot of barrel aging, and kind of we have some beers that we do regularly. So we don't have a big gap in our schedule. We can put some more beers in there. But when I have beers like this, I start thinking, what other beers do we do that we don't typically think about being barrel-aged beers that we could barrel-age and maybe get something resembling this or kind of in that same ballpark. So absolutely love it. This is a brewery, as I said, they're out of Scotland. They do more than one beer. I don't know if this is their only year-round or if all their other variants of this beer are year-round as well. I had some of the variants years ago. It's been a while, so I can't really talk with any kind of authority about that. But they make this beer so well and so consistently. I would reason to believe that the other beers they have are also going to be well made, nuanced, flavorful, and interesting. So if you have the ability to have this or you haven't had it in a while, yes, I recommend you doing that. But try out the rest of the beers in their lineup. I would bet they're going to be pretty darn good. Yeah, just fantastic. Being able to take this beer at 6.6% and enjoy those flavors of oak without having to worry about getting completely sloshed after one 16-ounce can, that's another really cool thing. We talk about food and beer pairings a lot on Old Favorite Friday. In fact, every time on Old Favorite Friday, something I love to talk about. This is going to pair really well with smoked meats. Anything in a barrel age, not anything, but typically the smoky flavors, the spicy flavors of oak, the vanilla, the char go pretty well with smoked meats. They accentuate those kind of flavors, maybe even bring out some of the vanilla in the barrel aged beer. Another thing I might want to try with this, and I haven't had it together, but just kind of trying the flavor profile. I think a chicken marsala might go well, kind of accentuating more now the malt complexity, and the base beer here would be interested in that sweet marsala sauce while also being kind of rich and full flavored. This has enough. Let me just get one more sip. I talk about the sweetness of this, and there is some malt sweetness, but there is a little bit of a bitterness on the back end. It's not a syrupy sweet beer, so you don't have to completely stay away from sweeter dishes and still enjoy it with this beer. But yeah, that would be something that I would like to try out together. I got 3 more cans. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. But if you haven't had this in a while, like I said, please go pick it up, give it a try if it's available near you. Please keep the suggestions rolling in for Old Favorite Friday. We'd love to hear what you guys are drinking and the beers that really remind you of your journey into craft beer. And please poke around our channel. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We really, really appreciate anyone engaging with us here. If you love craft beer like we do, we really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.